Okie dokie. It says I'm live, so I'm going to do what I usually do and wait for a couple of people to pop in and say hello in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you can hear me okay. I think I didn't announce this, so there's nobody kind of waiting, so I'll just take a few minutes here. I can always cut off the beginning of this later when it gets saved in post. I like to give people a few minutes to pop in before we get into it. So once you're in here, go into the chat, say hello. If we've met before, remind me who you are. I'm sure I know you if we've met in here before, and if I haven't, introduce yourself. Let me know. Oh gosh, Nevin's here. Hey, Geeks Fauna, good to see you. Picture and audio, perfect. I love that. Cheers. Nevin that's a frog face. All right. Oh, somebody gave this a like already. That must be for my soothing radio voice. So nice to see everyone. Today's topic is pivoting, the art of the pivot, the power of the pivot, because right now is as good a time as any to get good at pivoting, adapting, figuring out how to match the needs of kind of the world, your friends, your family, your clients, your customers, the marketplace, to what you're offering. And this could be professionally and this could be personally. I'm going to be veering more to the professional side of things because basically what's happening. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Salted caramel cold foam cold brew. So what's happening right now is in the midst of the something nobody can really plan for, in the midst of a pandemic and this public health crisis that we're going through right now, we're seeing the effects start to ripple through every industry. There's a lot of industries right now that think they're going to be immune to this, or that they're really not going to get bothered by it. For instance, I was just chatting the other day with somebody who makes most of their living from doing remote coaching. They're doing virtual coaching like this. And they're like, thank goodness I'm not in your industry, because the live event space right now, the industry I'm mostly in, is getting just wiped out. Event professionals are going to see the next 3 to 6 months of probably half to 3/4 of all events get canceled. It'll at larger scales. Big organizations are canceling events out of an abundance of caution. It's hard to say if that's the right call or not. I think, I'm not a health professional, and I can only go off of what's out there. And every day this seems to be getting worse. It looks like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So I think rightly so, large events are making the cautious decision to cancel. Colleges and universities are shifting to remote classes. They're canceling all in-person classes and events, which is having a rocket effect through my industry, right? Event professionals, my friends and colleagues who make 90% or 100% of their living from showing up at live events, doing in-person magic or speaking or comedy or whatever, stand to lose, I don't know, half of their income overnight, half of their annual income. Nevin, you've got a college gig coming up that's probably going to get canceled. I've got many gigs, events scheduled to do magic, to speak at on college campuses in the next 2 months. Likely all of them are going to get canceled. And even the ones that don't, the question is, should we really be going to them anyway? Right? So what's happening right now is everybody's got to figure out how to pivot. So back to my point, which was I was speaking to a friend who does mostly remote coaching, virtual coaching like this, and that seems like you'd be in perfect shape. And I think they're going to fare much better than in-person event professionals. But so here's what's going to happen, though. If people like me who make our living from live events suddenly find half of our income wiped out, right? Like every event cancels for the next 3 to 6 months. So suppose we can live anyway. There's a lot of people who don't have the savings to survive that, and they're dealing with a nightmare right now. But say you've done well enough for yourself over the years that you could survive something like this. You've got some savings. In the meantime, you're going to cut all of your extraneous costs. Like, I probably don't need to be hiring a digital marketer for the next few months if I don't have any events anyway. If there's not going to be any events, I don't need someone promoting me to events. So if I cut the cord from them, then the person that they hire, maybe their remote business coach, maybe they can't afford to keep using that person for the next few months. And then suddenly the person who thinks that they're safe is going to get rippled through all of this. And it's not just entertainers, obviously. It's the whole travel industry, the catering industry, everybody who works in any way at live events is just being shaken to the core right now. So the question is, what are you going to do about it, right? Pivot is this kind of keyword, this buzzword that's been going around for the last few years. And on my podcast, now called, Beyond Networking, I've had dozens of conversations with wildly successful people, and almost every single one of them have used the word pivot or adapt in describing their success, their ability to maintain and grow their business through unpredictability, through just the standard unpredictability of self-employment, let alone something like this that nobody saw coming. So what does it mean to pivot? What does it mean to be adaptable? Well, it means to take a really close look right now. Everybody, whether you're employed or self-employed, you should be taking an inventory of the skills, the talents, what you have to offer the world, your friends, but also the working world, right? If you work for an organization, you should be taking real careful stock of, besides the details of my specific job description, what is it that I have that I can offer my colleagues, my bosses, the leadership, our customers and clients? What can I do beyond the scope of my traditional job description that makes me the most useful, the most valuable person to have around? And how can I take those skills and translate them in a world that may be shifting to work from home for the next 3, 6, 8, 10 months, right? This could be a long time depending on who you believe right now. And it's almost less of who you believe and more of just, we just don't have enough data yet. It's all happening too fast. It's too new. So the question, if you're self-employed, especially if you mostly make your living in the event space, is what can I do? So Nevin's watching this. Is there a way for me to take what I do and change the offering from an in-person to a virtual or remote offering, right? You have to think, what are they actually paying for? What are the people who hire you actually paying for? Are they really just paying for you to be there 10 inches from them and do a magic trick, right? Nevin, if you're a magician, if you're a comedian, are they just paying to be sat 5 feet in front of you with a drink in a dirty nightclub while you're on stage cracking jokes? Or is there something more than that you're actually giving them? Is there a top level that you're really offering that you can now shift and say, listen, out of an abundance of caution, we're not all meeting up in person anymore, but we can still have an amazing experience. We're just going to do it in a slightly different way. New to me, new to you, but you can choose to be the one who leads your clients and customers, who leads your friends, family, and colleagues into this new environment for the next however long it takes. You can be the leader, the one that people look to, right? And I'm going to quote or kind of borrow from my mentor, Seth Godin here, but, when it comes to tribes, when it comes to weaving that community of people who trust us, who look to us for leadership at any level, right? Leadership is not about a title or a badge. It's an attitude. It's a way of being. When it comes to leadership, to quote Seth, the Beatles did not invent teenagers. They just showed up to lead them, right? You don't have to go invent a client base or a customer base or colleagues or friends or a community or a group right now who needs leadership. They already exist. All you can do is show up in a way that says to them, everybody follow me, right? And so I think that's the question of pivoting, of adaptability, that everybody needs to be asking themselves right now, whether you're self-employed or whether you're employed. Those are my thoughts. Brief thoughts, kind of off the cuff here. I decided to go live about 2 minutes before I actually did. I just wanted to have a conversation. I see we've only got a handful of folks here right now, but I'm going to stay on the live even if there's nothing much happening in case anybody else pops in. in the chat box, those of you who are here, let me know what's going on right now. Where are you in the world? How is your community faring? What's your business doing? Is your work asking people to work from home? Are you worried? Are you not? Do you think this is overblown? What are your plans? Let me know where you're at right now. It would be really, really helpful for me in trying to serve my client base, my customers, my audience across all of my different platforms to get a really good sense of where everybody is in their headspace right now. In the meantime, while you're tossing some stuff in the chat, I just got to say, so I've been using the Lumix G85 as Nevin has for the past couple of months as my main camera, and I don't understand why this isn't the #1 recommended camera for YouTubers, for content creators. There's nothing better than this. This G85, it's phenomenal. The autofocus isn't fantastic, but other than that, it is it's just exceptional. I've been thrilled. I've got the 7-14 lens on here, super, super, super wide angle zoom. But I've got this Rode VideoMic NTG, which I've made a couple of videos on, which is fantastic. This is great. I want to also mention, speaking of adaptability, so I use, these, what are these called? These plates, these universal plates, the Arca Swiss plates here on the bottom. And one cool thing I showed Nevin recently you can do is if you have one of your handheld little mini tripod things or a Joby GorillaPod, you can get the Arca Swiss adapter and put it on here. So now every single device I have has the adapter that can just go on here. So all I have to do is it's sitting over there. My big tripod, it's got that adapter on. My tiny mini one's got that adapter. So I can take it off of my big tripod and toss it on my mini tripod, and I'm all set to go. And now I can vlog, and then I can take it off and pop it on my big tripod to do a studio shot. So that's pretty cool. And this best $10 I think I ever spent, because I started paying a lot more attention to getting the white balance right in camera. This fold up gray card thingy here is great for doing custom white balance in the camera, where you can just put this in front of it, tell the camera go, and it auto white balances to this. Fantastic. Can't recommend that enough. And I'm going to be doing a video soon on a product I showed you recently, but only did as an overview, which is the Movo, wireless lav mic system, this wireless lav mic system. I had really only used it once to do the initial review of it, because I'm not really into wireless lav mic systems, but I used this just the other day for a video, actually tomorrow's Thursday Thoughts video. When you watch that whole thing was filmed. Was that filmed with this? No, the Thursday Thoughts video for tomorrow, I'm sorry, that was not filmed with this. What I did use this for just the other day was one of my clients for an upcoming event that may end up getting canceled now, but one of my clients, one of my VIP clients, I was filming a little intro. For a lot of my VIP speaking clients, I'll film a 1-2 minute personalized intro talking to camera, introducing myself to their audience. So 2-3 weeks before the conference, they'll send that video out to their attendees. And by the time I get to the conference, the attendees have already felt like they met me, because I said hello on camera. I introduced myself, told them what I'm going to be talking about, how much fun it's going to be, get them excited. It's a thing I do just for my top paying, most valued clients. And little bonus thing that we offer for the VIPs. And I really didn't feel like setting up microphones. I didn't feel like taking the VideoMic NTG off of here and rigging it up on a thing and running cables. I just wanted to do this video quickly because I had a lot of other stuff on my mind. So I took the wireless lav mic, the Movo wireless lav mic out. I tossed the one thing on the camera, the one thing on me, clipped it on, synced it up in 10 seconds, and started recording. And the audio came out fantastic. I'm just really, really happy with that. So I will, Movo, if you're watching this, I will be doing a little review video, a more in-depth review video on this, because I was very, very happy with the ease of use and the quality of the audio. Okay, what we've got is Nevin. I think that's it. Just Nevin? Really? Nevin, you and I could be having this conversation on our own, although remotely, not in person. Stay away from me. Took advantage of the cheap flights. I'm taking my sister on vacation to Florida because YOLO. Well, everybody's got to make decisions for themselves. You only live once, that's true. That's mostly why I'm not taking flights right now, because you only live once, and I am operating out of an abundance of caution at the moment. But everybody's got to make decisions for themselves. Nevin, have you found out if that college gig is actually getting canceled? Has there been any word about that yet, or are you just concerned that it might be? Yeah, so I don't know. This is kind of unprecedented. We really don't know. We really don't know what's going on here. So I'm not sure. Although college campuses, it's amazing. College campuses are just shutting down all over the country. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like it. But boy, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here, folks. But I'll tell you this: the people who survive this storm, who weather this storm, the people who are going to be successful through and come out the other side of this without getting completely decimated by it. I'm not talking about health. I'm talking about work, right? Health, wash your hands, stay away from people as best you can, be healthy. But when it comes to work, right? Because we all have to keep working. The economy cannot just stop. People need to pay their mortgages, their rent. They need to buy food and support their families, right? We can't just stop working. So the people, whether you're self-employed or employed by someone else, the people who are going to be most successful, who are going to thrive and weather through this storm, are those who adapt, who pivot, who don't simply throw their hands up in the air and go, well, all is lost, everything's bad. I saw somebody on my Facebook feed, a music teacher, say, we're supposed to start doing remote lessons, and that's never going to work. That's never going to work. I'm never going to be able to do remote lessons. They kind of just threw their hands up in the air and said, that's it, it's over. Well, there's a million guitar teachers and piano teachers and voice teachers that have come out of the YouTube generation right here on this platform that have been making really good livings teaching remote music lessons for a decade now. So it's not that it can't be done. It's the question of, are you willing to do what it takes right now in the heat of it? Are you willing to step up and learn the new skills quickly that you need to be the one who leads us through the storm? And so I think that's the question. So, all right, I think I'm going to call this one if there's nobody else popping in. Anybody else who sees this as a replay, leave comments, not in the chat, obviously, but in the comments below like normal. I'll get back to them. I'm going to be popping in and out of all the comments on my various channels over the course of today and tomorrow. Remember, over on the Audio for Content Creators channel, which is here, I'll pop this into the chat. Let's see. Audio for content. I'm in the middle of a 3-part series. There's 2 parts up already of how I process my voice in post, how to do my voice post-processing chain, and some things to think about there, some really cool techniques you may have not known about, because I get comments on all my videos all the time. How does your voice sound so good? How do you get that? What do you do in post? And so I've been answering that over there on the Audio for Content Creators. And if you really want to step up your audio game right now, you can always go to audio101.info and take a chance over there at my my online audio course. It's a 4 hours, 30 videos, comprehensive beginner audio tutorial for anybody in content creation. We're right now we are shifting. Everybody's gonna start working from home. We're doing more online. People are gonna have to get used to doing this. And if you want to learn how to get the best sounding audio and make sure that your voice is heard and clearly so, head over there. audio101.info. The course is worth it, I promise you. There's been tremendous feedback from the folks who've gone through the course, and as long as people are buying it, I can leave it up and keep it up forever. So if you're even considering it right now, this is a good time to get in. Go do that. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Remember, Every interaction is meaningful. Every person you meet is important. Every single one of us can be a leader in the human connection revolution. With all the craziness in the world right now, with automation and robotics and artificial intelligence and now pandemic, the most imperative thing that we have to do is not lose our humanity. I'll see you next time.